The Haunting of Galax, Virginia. Nestled deep in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Galax, Virginia, is known for its music, its festivals, and its quiet charm. But beneath the surface of this small town lies a history that locals whisper about only when the night is thick and the fog rolls down from the ridges. They call it the Hollowing, a curse said to have taken root in the early 1900s, when the town was still young and the forests around it were far less forgiving. In 1912, a logging camp was established just outside Galax. The men who worked there spoke of strange cries echoing through the woods at night, long, mournful wails that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. At first, they dismissed it as the wind or perhaps the cries of animals, but then the accidents began. A man was found crushed beneath a tree that had fallen in the wrong direction, though no wind had blown that day. Another vanished entirely, his axe left embedded in a stump, his boots still by the fire. The camp was abandoned within a year, but the stories lingered. By the 1930s, Galax had grown, and a wealthy family built a grand home on Cliffside Road, overlooking the New River. The house was beautiful, with wide porches and tall windows, but it never seemed to stay occupied for long. The first family left after only 2 years, claiming their children had been plagued by nightmares of a woman with hollow eyes standing at the foot of their beds. The second family lasted less than a year, fleeing in the middle of the night after their youngest daughter was found sleepwalking toward the river, whispering in a voice that was not her own. Neighbors began to avoid the house, crossing the street rather than walking past it. They said that sometimes, if you looked up at the windows after dark, you could see a pale figure staring out, even though the house was empty. The legend grew around a figure known as the Hollow Woman. She was said to be the spirit of a woman who had lived in the area long before Galax was founded, a woman accused of witchcraft by settlers who feared her knowledge of herbs and the strange symbols she carved into the trees. They said she was drowned in the river, her body never recovered. Her spirit, hollowed out by rage and grief, was doomed to wander the hills and valleys, searching for children to replace the ones she never had. Locals claimed that if you heard her voice calling your name in the woods, you must never answer, for she would lead you deeper and deeper until you were lost forever. Some said she could slip into dreams, whispering promises of safety and warmth until her victims followed her willingly into the dark. The most chilling event tied to the Hollow Woman occurred in 1967. A group of teenagers from Galax High School decided to spend the night camping near the old logging camp, daring each other to summon the spirit. They built a fire, told ghost stories, and laughed at the idea of curses. But when morning came, only one of them returned. The boy who survived was found wandering along Route 58, barefoot and covered in scratches. He never spoke of what happened that night, but his hair had turned completely white, and he refused to go near the woods again. The other 3 were never found. Their tents were still standing, their belongings untouched, but the ground around the campsite was churned up as though something had dragged them away. Even now, Galax carries the weight of its haunted past. Hikers sometimes report hearing footsteps behind them on the trails, though no one is there. Fishermen on the New River claim to see ripples spreading across the water as if something unseen is moving just beneath the surface. And on foggy nights, when the town is quiet and the mountains loom like dark sentinels, some say you can hear the faint sound of a woman's voice drifting through the air, calling out names that no one recognizes. The house on Cliffside Road still stands, though it has been abandoned for decades. Its windows are broken, its porch sagging, but the locals still avoid it. Teenagers dare each other to go inside, but few ever do, and those who return often speak of a suffocating silence, as though the house itself is holding its breath. Some claim to have seen shadows moving in the corners, or to have felt a cold hand brush against their skin when no one else was near. The people of Galax do not speak openly of the Hollow Woman, but the warnings are passed down quietly from one generation to the next. Do not wander the woods alone at night. Do not answer when a voice calls your name from the darkness. And never, under any circumstances, look too long into the windows of the house on Cliffside Road. For those who do may find themselves hollowed out, their souls taken, their bodies left to wander the mountains forever, whispering in voices that are not their own.